from 0 to column addition at 5 years old. I'm gonna brag a little bit. My name is Donna and I'm a stay-at-home mom to 2 kids ages 5 and 3. They are awesome boys and we have started the journey of homeschooling and figuring out how to do homeschooling. I'm doing a bit of a mini series just talking about topics and things with homeschooling that we're going through right now, so I hope you'll stick around, check out some of the other homeschooling videos and ideas, and share any comments you have below with this awesome YouTube community. I was totally inspired by this awesome YouTube community and the homeschooling community here. There are so many ideas and inspiration and tricks, and it just gave me a lot of confidence that I could also homeschool, so I just want to give that back to the community here today with a little snippet about math. I just plainly want to talk about how we got from 0 to column addition and what that kind of journey has looked like for our oldest. He is currently 5 and we have been adding like math, I would say like real math, into his homeschool routine for about 5 to 6 months. But before that, I'm going to go back a little bit, and since he could talk, we were doing all of it, you know, counting, singing songs with counting, practicing counting with games of hide and seek, and like I remember the struggle of getting through, you know, 1 through 20 when he was little, and we would play hide and seek and he would get all jumbled up of like the numbers 14 through 20, and we had to play hide and seek I don't even know how many nights in a row, and basically like coax him to practice and figure it out. But like after we played hide and seek, that was like the game. That was the game that triggered and got us past 20. Once he hit 20, it was like easy. Then it was just like 30, 40, 50, and I just, you know. But he did awesome with that once we got over that big hurdle. I just want to let you know I've been there. Those early stages is really hard, but daily practice is like the key with numbers and math and the repetition of it. So after we got through the hurdle of 1 through 20, then he started to be able to verbally count all the way to 100. And I thought, okay, you know how to say it out loud. Let's see if you can recognize any of these numbers when I write them down. And sure enough, he could hardly recognize any of them. And I was really surprised. I mean, I don't know. I assumed since you knew them verbally that you would know them written down, but you don't. So we had to start there. So I started with writing the numbers 1 through 10. And I had him do copy work. He had this super cute board and easel. Ta-da! The board and easel, and I had him copy the numbers 1 through 10 on the board and easel for days. Days and days and days. And then after that, we started with 1 through 11, and then 1 through 12, 1 through 13, every day adding one number. Some days we had to repeat, do it again, just get familiar with it. And eventually he was filling up the whole board with numbers. And I mean, the goal was to get from 1 through 50. And then it was like, that was capped out. The board was just too full and we had to move on to writing it on pen and paper. And that was super exciting. It was also a bit nerve-wracking because once you've built a habit and then trying to change it, that's always a bit of a stress, but he did very well. I also want to note that I made sure that we also didn't start at just 1. Some days I would make him start at 0. So making sure that we talked about the number 0, that was also part of the initial like math conversation, was introducing the concept of 0. As he was writing the numbers down, after he wrote them down, I also would make him count by 5s because we were learning about telling time. So I would have him circle or box like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, etc. however far he had gone on writing his numbers. And that really helped him to learn how to count by 5s very quickly. I remember the day that he wrote on his paper like 0 to 100, and that was like thrilling. That was like, we all success, like cheer, that was awesome. And then like fast forward, like he's still writing numbers every day, and we have now a notebook. And this is the notebook. It's just a plain Jane Scribbler 200-page subject notebook, and he's writing his numbers in it every day. He just takes off from where he left off. So if he wrote, 1 through 50, then the next day he starts at 51 and carries on. Recently he got to the number 2,000. Like, that is cool. So today, on the days he writes the date, the full date, day of the week, the month, we missed an R there. The numbers with the TH or the first to try to get familiar with like first, second, third, fourth. The year. Then he picks off wherever he left off from the day before and he writes about 25 to 50 numbers depending on how challenging they are. These are very challenging numbers, so we only do about 25. So you can see yesterday, on yesterday's sheet, I'll write 6 math problems. He did much better on this day, Thursdays. I had to leave him alone and he did it all by himself. He did the math problems, and we talk about them and then I help check them over and explain them. And yeah, he did about 25 numbers. So that's the numbers part of this conversation, but I'm sure you're wondering, how did you get to the math problems? That's probably what I'd be wondering. How the heck did you introduce a math problem? To back up here, we started not on pen and paper. We started with something called verbal math. I got a book that was called Verbal Math. So with verbal math, just being really intentional, talking about it quite frequently. Verbal math is awesome because you can do it anywhere on the go. You can do it when you're waiting for appointments. You can do it when you're in the car. You can do it as you're putting on your shoes. I really loved starting with verbal math, and I think it was a great place to start with my child. And then I saw some flashcards in a store. They were superhero themed flashcards and I couldn't resist, so I had to buy them. I thought, I'm gonna buy these. We probably won't get around to them for a while. I'll just have them on hand so they're ready to go. It was a great deal, etc., etc. And then I opened them up right away here. This is for ages 6+, and I just bought them literally because they were superhero themed. So we pulled these out one afternoon when the younger one was sleeping. We just thought, I'm just gonna start it with some easy problems, 4 + 2. I have 6 pom-poms, let's just separate them out. 4 pom-poms here and 2 here. I had him count them, figure out the math problems that way, and he was really into it and he did really well. So from there, take these and started counting with his fingers and teaching him how to use his fingers to count. And then we got all of a sudden into some bigger problems that required some column addition. The flashcards were awesome because we could show the columns, but he couldn't keep track of the numbers. So that required going back to a pencil and paper, the good old stuff. Right now we're just doing column addition. I haven't really done too much subtraction. We're just really honing in on that addition. I use the numbers that he writes from his daily numbers writing practice and turn them into math problems. And lately we've been just doing and trying to get him to basically memorize, the consistent one, 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 3 + 3, 4 + 4, 5 + 5, and just building that level of recognition in his brain or in his subconscious. So we've been practicing those a whole bunch. And like I said, I'm just writing them out on pen and paper every day. Depending on the day, I change how many problems I give him or what kinds of problems I give him. But I know that the next hurdle we're going to face is subtraction. And if we just put the same level of diligent practice on it and work ethic, I know we're going to be able to tackle this and go above and beyond my expectations for this year.
60. 600, 6 million.
No. If you have any math teaching tips or thoughts, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. Math is not my strong suit by any means, but I am not afraid to learn new ways to, teach math or learn alongside my child and figure out the best way for us to learn and teach math together. Thanks so much for watching.
Yeah, I want more math problems.
You want more math problems?